Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So apparently these two little words are like the Voldemort of the gaming industry. Merry Christmas. Now, if you celebrate Christmas, great. If you don't, great. I don't care. But I think it's very obvious that in the gaming industry, they're trying to capitalize with related posts and sales without saying these two words because they're afraid of getting canceled or offending people. Now, I don't know if this is an American thing or a Western thing, but there was a time where saying Merry Christmas was considered by many to be offensive if you're saying it to a stranger because it might not be inclusive and it might single someone out if they don't actually celebrate Christmas. Now, I think a lot of people don't care about this anymore. I think the majority of people just don't care about this anymore. I mean, to give you a personal anecdote here, yesterday when I was going to see my family for Christmas, I stopped at Starbucks and imagine like the most stereotypical liberal 20-something-year-old Starbucks employee. Even they're saying Merry Christmas unprompted, okay? I just don't think people care anymore, but it's clear in the gaming industry, they are walking on eggshells around this topic and they don't want to say Merry Christmas. And a lot of studios made absolute fools out of themselves over the past couple of days. And we're going to look at those studios, look at some of the people clowning on them, and also give some updates on those related studios as well. So let's jump right into it, beginning with Naughty Dog, who's had a very lame end to their 2024, unveiling their latest project since The Last of Us Part 2, which is, of course, Intergalactic. I mean, for the holiday season, they at least could have put a Santa hat on or something. But yeah, they're definitely facing a lot of controversy with this underwhelming title and their bizarre choice of main character, but they try to get in on the holiday spirit by making this post saying, whether you're celebrating with old friends or new, we here at Naughty Dog hope your holidays are filled with joy and festivities. And of course, they're working on the whole Christmas theme here with characters from their various franchises coming together as a big happy family, which we'll talk about how tone-deaf and stupid this cast of characters is in just a second, but you would see they go absolutely crazy with the hidden reply feature, which of course is a manual feature, by the way. They have to manually do this to each post that's included. Now, if you scroll through the hidden replies, there's dozens of them, and they're just absolute gold. Let's start with just a few of them, right? Woke BS, Naughty Dog, 500 likes. I'm keeping me money, 700 likes. Why are you hiding this? The woozy face. Is that too much for you to handle, Naughty Dog? Here's another one pointing out the fact that, of course, the actress behind the main protagonist, Jordan, shared this artwork in a now deleted Instagram post, which is, of course, mocking a lot of people criticizing the choice of main character and her design. And they're pointing that out. And, of course, Naughty Dog, in their infinite wisdom, they hid this reply, showing that they're quite sensitive about this topic and they're not going to address it, which is a big mistake. And he says, one ugly, bald-ass Jordan. Oh my God, read the room. And this one right here saying, in space, no one can hear your pronouns. Amazing. And then this comment right here is important. So let's address what's going on. Here's another hidden reply where someone edited in a golf club. Now you're like, what's the deal? Why are people mocking this choice of characters coming together as a happy family? Why the golf club? Well, in case you don't know the lore related here. So the character Abby, who's featured here, murdered Joel with a golf club while forcing Ellie to watch. And now they're being depicted as a happy family. Either the person who made this art on their team has never actually played the game, or they're just that tone deaf. This looks really bad. It looks like you don't even know anything about your own games, and it just seems like a weird attempt at a Christmas sort of promotion here for their franchises, but again, they won't even say those two dreaded words. But let's move on to another studio, Bioware. So obviously it's not been a very good time for Dragon Age, the Veilguard. The game's been out around 2 months at this point, and things are looking a little bleak. But don't worry, okay? It's the end of the year. There's a lot going on. Number one, you got the holiday season. This is great. A lot of people getting big discounts on games like Veilguard. It is on sale right now. A lot of people are at home. They're away from school, away from work. They got time to play video games. This is a great time to capitalize. This can really change things around. Christmas and the holidays and this sort of season can really save a game that's floundering. And on top of that, I mean, how can Veilguard not be coasting on some success right now? Time Magazine just recently announced that Dragon Age the Veilguard is Game of the Year. That was their choice of Game of the Year, the best one. So with that sort of a nomination there, that sort of honor bestowed upon them, you would think things are going really well during Christmas and the holiday season. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, well, they tried. You see this little blip right here? This little blip, that was their holiday boost. That was the holiday boost, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this game is absolutely dead. Not even 3 months into their release, this game is completely floundering. And again, they only have sold, reportedly to an insider, they sold 1.5 million units. And the goal was 10 million units in the first 3 months. So, do you guys think they're going to get there? You think they're going to cover the rest of the spread here? Let me know in the comments section how you're feeling about that one. But let's continue on. Dragon Age, obviously, they had their own version of this post saying, celebrate the holidays with us in Thetis. Save up to 40% on Dragon Age, the Veilguard, for a limited time. And of course, they would also hide some replies. And this one, I'm just going to show one of them. There's several hidden replies, but this one just, what are you doing? Why are you hiding this? It just says I'm non-binary. Play on words here saying they're not going to buy this game or any other woke garbage. But they hid this. And right now, it has 20 views. And I'm one of them. So they got so bothered by this reply that probably wouldn't have had more than 2 or 3 views in the bottom of the reply section. They got so bothered, they hid it, and now more people are seeing it. Like, can't you just let things roll off your back? Like, if you're going to be, whether it's a gaming studio, a public Twitter account, or anyone on social media, you're going to deal with hate, and the worst thing you can do is hide them. I mean, that's like textbook Twitter 101. Never hide replies that are criticizing you or making fun of you. It's just going to bring more attention to them, and it's also going to make the person know you got to them. That's not a very good thing. And for a studio like this, you're supposed to kind of just operate like on an even basis. Like, you shouldn't be hiding stuff just because they're criticizing you or making fun of your post. It's just ridiculous. But one more thing I want to talk about with Dragon Age the Veilguard is that according to Fandom Pulse here, it sold worse than Star Wars Outlaws in Europe. If that's even possible, apparently it is. So games industry head Christopher Dring revealed sales from GSD that states that BioWare's Dragon Age the Veilguard sold worse than Star Wars Outlaws. An episode of GameIndustry.biz microcast while discussing how poorly new games have sold compared to previous years. Dring shared Star Wars Outlaws was the 14th best-selling new game of the year, but number 45 overall. And we're going to talk about Star Wars Outlaws and Ubisoft in just a second, but he said next that Dragon Age the Veilguard, which came out at the end of October, that was number 19 in best-selling new game chart, but was number 68 overall. So it actually sold worse than Star Wars Outlaws, despite releasing in a pretty similar window. That is really, really bleak. Also, these numbers are very interesting, how Outlaws was 14th best-selling new game, but 45 overall, and 19 for Veilguard, and then 68 overall. That's weird, right? It seems like there's way more traffic for old games. That's very interesting and a very bleak outlook for the industry, because people clearly are just rejecting the nonsense that is being released currently. In the year 2024, we've seen flop after flop, and people are retreating to older titles, which eventually, people aren't going to play old games forever. Well, that's kind of not true. People are still playing classic WoW like it just came out yesterday. But anyways, it just shows that there's a lot of failure in the industry currently. New titles are flopping, and even the breakout successes like Black Myth Wukong can't make up for all the flops that are right beside them. And yeah, this is pretty good proof of that. But it continues on where it says, Dring almost made it clear that Dragon Age did not do well. It was Christmas, and in terms of AAA blockbuster, the traditional big blockbuster Christmas games, you had Call of Duty, which did well, and you had Dragon Age, which did not. So that is disappointing in that position. Dragon Age had the market to itself, and it couldn't find an audience, he continued, and that's really scary as we move into the following year. He made a similar commentary about Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws sort of had the year to itself and didn't find an audience, and that's a real shame. He also noted that Dragon Age the Veilguard and Star Wars Outlaws will likely fall down the charts given digital sales data for Black Myth Wukong and Pale Worlds have not been released yet, and thus are not included in the chart. So it's even worse than it appears right now. But Dring also revealed that new game sales in 2024 were significantly down compared to 2023. He said overall, sales of new games in 2024 versus new games in 2023, and let's remember 2023 was a big year for new games, was down 29%. So almost a third down year on year in terms of new sales. Pretty much proving what we were just talking about 2 seconds ago. A lot of people are just exhausted with what's going on with these new games, and they're turning to old games, basically just waiting for something good to come out currently, and it's taking a lot longer than it really should at this point. But anyways, let's move on to another studio who's getting into the holiday spirit. CD Projekt Red, who's dealing with a lot of controversy with the Witcher 4 trailer, and that at least has a lot more promise than what's going on with Intergalactic. But let's see here. CD Projekt Red made their post here saying, wishing you a restful holiday season where joy and happiness are all you're hunting for. Happy holidays from the team at CD Projekt Red. Of course, posting this on Christmas Eve. Yeah, it's like, happy holidays. Look who can't say Merry Christmas. Classic case here, but of course, they also hid replies. People saying, you mean Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, moron. This garbage woke SJW left propagandist can't say Christmas. And also they hid this Asmongold video where he's reacting to my video talking about some of the Witcher 4 lore controversy, especially involving the one designer who clearly hates gamers. So now it's personal, right? Now it's personal. They're censoring me now. So I have to really talk about CD Projekt Red. But to remind everyone, they're a bunch of clowns, right? CD Projekt Red is a very woke studio. They've made that very clear. DEI is like the foundation of what they do, but it's all an act. I mean, this classic screenshot goes around, depending on what account and what region they're talking to, they're proud during Pride Month or they're not so proud. I mean, their Russia account, not so proud, but the Western accounts, very proud. It just shows this is all virtue signaling. At the end of the day, I don't even think they believe what they're trying to push onto others. They all think this is just some business enhancement for them, but ultimately people are tired of it and it's a bad look, but they keep doing it. And again, Witcher 4 has a lot of promise, okay? It's not a complete dead on arrival type situation like with Intergalactic where people are just like, wow, how bad is it going to fail? Not if it's going to fail, but how bad will it fail? But looking at some of the surrounding controversy, you have on the one hand where the dev team is saying, no, we're not going to break any canon or even offend canon. But then on the other hand, you have a lot of very, let's just say, conflicting lore choices with Witcher 4, mainly because of their choice of protagonist with Ciri, who's now a Witcher confirmed to have passed the trial of the grasses, which to many thought to be impossible based on established lore where it was made pretty clear that women just could not physically complete this trial, but all of a sudden now she is able to, and they based it on some quotes from the author where he had referred to Ciri as a Witcher in some of the earlier novels, but also they didn't consult this author for their Witcher 4 game and the choice of Ciri as the main protagonist. And then, while that's all happening, while they're not consulting the original author of the Witcher saga, so conveniently, you have a recently hired lore designer who is very against gamers, saying he wants to punch gamers and that he hates anti-woke people and he thinks gamers are bad. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, obviously, we're not going to trust this person and any of the decisions they're making. And again, I've seen this screenshot popping up over the past couple of days where, yes, there is also a Witcher remake coming, and I believe it's 2026 is where they're aiming for. People forget about that. And if you're concerned about what's going on with Witcher 4 and what might be changed, censored, or violated in terms of lore, you should be really concerned about this one. I mean, this was an interview with IGN from earlier this year where they made it clear the Witcher remake developer Fool's Theory isn't afraid to change aspects of CD Projekt Red's original, which are bad, outdated, and need to be remade. So even with this remake, the handlers of that are making it clear that they're going to change whatever they think is bad, outdated, or needs to be remade. Now, on a normal basis here, you'd be like, oh, well, they're just going to change some bad game mechanics or things that just don't work. But that's not the reality of what we've dealt with for a long time now, where when these Studios say that they're going to change bad and outdated things and things that need to be remade. It's a Trojan horse for censoring things. They're going to virtue signal. They're going to basically say this is problematic, that's problematic, and they're going to get rid of that stuff and use this as their excuse. And they're going to say, well, we told you ahead of time. Well, we all know what they mean by this. They're trying, again, to push this Trojan horse to censor this game. Now let's move on to the final studio to talk about today, and that, of course, is Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. Literally just in the nightmares, that probably daily nightmares of the team over at Ubisoft, because Star Wars Outlaws, as we saw, absolute failure. And Assassin's Creed Shadows, again, it's going to fail. It's just how bad is it going to fail, just like Intergalactic. Now, of course, long touted this idea by the Ubisoft executive where they said, you better get used to not owning your games. Well, unfortunately, they're getting used to not owning their own company because it seems like a buyout is inevitable at this point because the stocks have fallen just that hard. And in a desperate attempt here to save everything going on, oh, look at that. Star Wars Outlaws comes with a gift card now. They're getting pretty desperate. Now, in terms of their holiday push here, they did have this from everyone at Assassin's Creed. We wish you a very happy holiday. Singular. I've never seen that before. But anyways, they didn't hide replies, so credit where credit is due. Good job, Ubisoft. You really you shocked me with that one. But, of course, some more lame virtue signaling here. They're afraid to get canceled. And again, I just hope this is a shift away from this nonsense. I think the average person doesn't care about someone saying Merry Christmas in these studios because they're in their echo chamber. They still haven't got with the program. They have no pulse on what gamers think, so they're censoring themselves in order to appeal to the modern audience who doesn't show up. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.